name is Bill Plate. I'm the Senior Vice President for University Marketing and Communications. We're all excited that you're here because today marks the beginning of a new chapter in the development and further investment in Utah State athletics, and specifically our football program. I have the honor of introducing two senior leaders that I am privileged to work with on a daily basis who have made tremendous strides and success here in the short time that they've both been here. First, we're going to hear from our university president, Elizabeth Cantwell, followed by our vice president and director of athletics, Diana Sabau, who will introduce and welcome the individual who we're all here to meet today, our brand new football coach, Bronco Mendenhall. Following Coach's remarks, we will open up questions for the media. With that, help me in asking President Cantwell to join us here at the podium. So.
I accept the request. Thank you all for being here. I really want to, particularly, all of you who are with the media are lovely, but my community members who are here, our community members, have been so freaking instrumental in getting us to this point that I really want to shout out to all of you who are members of our local community. You are so important to me. So when I hired Diana Sabau, and that was a year, well, maybe 16 months ago, feels like a really long time ago, but I charged her with elevating Aggie athletics to the next level, and we are doing just that. So we are rising, our student athletes are succeeding, our community continues to support us and elevate right along with us. And we're making big moves. So, I know you all are aware that we are going into what is still called the Pac-12 next year. That season will start in 2026. And between now and then, there is a lot to be done. I'm very excited about that. So our focus is always going to be creating and running winning programs. Why is that? Because that elevates the entire university and the entire community. We know that the culture that we have here, grounded in student success, is the right one. And I think you'll find that Bronco Mendenhall is the right guy for that approach. It's incredibly important to me that we elevate student success every single step of the way. The impact of a champion level football program is unbelievable. And I know many of you are invested or steeped on the athletics side, but I can tell you as a university president of a public service university that it elevates us everywhere. And there are a lot of reasons why, but I believe in this football program, I believe in Bronco Mendenhall, I believe in Diana Sabau, and I believe in USU, and they all go together. So we're very, very, very fortunate to have Bronco Mendenhall on board. He is the right person for this time. He's who we need at USU to propel us into an incredible future. Thank you all for being here.
I believe. Where's the herd? Let's go! Wow, this room is impressive today. My heart is full of appreciation. Thank you all. Thank you to our university community, to our deans and our vice presidents who carry out our academic mission. Thank you for our football players who are here today, our athletics coaches, and our student athletes, our community, our investors, all of you. You are Utah State, and I am deeply grateful for that. Thank you, President Cantwell. We deeply appreciate your value of creating remarkable learning experiences for the university and the state of Utah, and for realizing the impact that a comprehensive athletics department built on the cornerstone of excellence can have for an institution and a community. Your unwavering commitment allows us all to provide endless opportunities in the pursuit of excellence. As you are aware, this has been a challenging year of transition for our beloved football program. I'd like to express my gratitude to the incredible young men who are here today and who fought hard on that field this season and who chose to call Utah State home. Thank you. We appreciate you. I'd also like to thank interim head coach Nate Dreiling. He stepped up during a challenging time. He did a fantastic job keeping this team together, and he is a phenomenal coach and even better human. I'm confident that he will have a long coaching career ahead of him. Utah State shines brightly when the Aggies athletics leads the way. Watch us reach and rise. When our athletics program thrives, there's a sense of joy that permeates all over. A winning culture fosters confidence, community. It is inspiring to students, faculty, and alumni alike. This is about creating a standard and an impact every single day. This is about finding our next head football coach and a family that wanted to be in Logan and wanted to be a part of our Utah State University community. This is about growing football, not simply sustaining it year over year. I've had numerous questions about our football head coaching search. This was a national process. I received a lot of calls of interest from very well-qualified candidates, from members in the NFL, from former Aggies, from Division I position coaches and coordinators, and from several sitting head coaches. There was intense interest. You all should recognize that and hold that dear. To that end, I made the decision early that we needed the experience of a sitting head coach to develop our young men and daily address the complexities of this changing game of football at the Division I level. Today, as we welcome our new head coach, the transfer portal opens, and you all will realize the intricacies of this game real time. We needed someone at Utah State for our football program who would elevate our competitive excellence, who would prioritize our academic success, and who would engage as good stewards in our community. Bronco Mendenhall emerged as that leader. Bronco Mendenhall has a tremendous experience rebuilding programs and cultures. In fact, he and his wife Holly admit they love a challenge. In totality, he has 18 years of head coaching experience, including a 6-year stint at the University of Virginia, 11 years at BYU, and most recently, New Mexico. He has an impressive career record of 140 wins and 88 losses, and his teams have qualified for 16 postseason bowl appearances. He's had over 80 former players sign NFL contracts. As you can see, he has been a leader of men. His leadership, his proven record, his deep understanding of the game makes him the ideal choice for our Aggie future as we step towards a Pac-12 membership. Importantly, his success goes far beyond football. Bronco thrives in investing in developing young men. He has a profound connection to student athletes. He builds their toolboxes for success in life, which is emphasized on character. He has high expectations. He is a believer of discipline and academic achievement. Bronco realizes the value of our community, and he will be proud with his family to live in Logan. Welcome to Bronco, his wife Holly, his sons Cutter, Breaker, and Raider, who, as students today, are taking finals, so they could not be here with us, but they're excited to step in and be welcomed by all soon. As you all know, Bronco was born and raised in Utah. He is a graduate of American Fork High School and started his football playing career at Snow Junior College. Family comes first for Coach Mendenhall. In fact, this move allows Bronco to be closer to his mother, Lenore, who lives in Alpine. Welcome to your state of Utah. He embraces USU's values of respect, integrity, dedication, continuous improvement, and teamwork. His passion for coaching empowers students to become the best version of themselves. And he respects the rich traditions of this university, Utah State. Bronco Mendenhall is exactly the teacher, the leader, and the head coach that our young men need right now at Utah State University. Please join me in welcoming Utah State University's 31st head football coach, Bronco Mendenhall. So to welcome the Mendenhalls to Utah State, we have this to present. As you all know, this is our Old Main Tower. The A on Old Main gets lit blue when the Aggies win, and it will be lit blue tonight in honor of the Mendenhalls joining our family and our community. We hope you hang this with pride. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
It's always nice to start with a standing ovation. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. My wife and I, what a journey we've had together in the world of college athletics. As we were building a ranch in Montana 2 years ago, we craved influence and impact on young people. That is the greatest thing that we get to do, is influence and impact the next generation to become more than we are, our generation. And I see some maybe a little older than I, some similar, some younger. In my opinion, the world of college athletics, it's the ideal platform to develop amazing young people from. At the same time, championships matter. And so what you'll be getting with the head coach in myself is that, yeah, results absolutely matter, but how we accomplish that, it matters even more. I care about these young people, who they become, what they do with their lives, how they play, but ultimately, if they're influencing this community in a positive way, if they're becoming amazing young men for their families, if they're able to contribute in society with all kinds of memories of championship experiences here, that looks like success to me. There isn't anyone on the planet that will have higher expectations for our players than I. The greatest gift I can give is that of extreme expectations. Some say high, and that's not enough. Extreme expectations mean, Coach, how am I going to do that? And my normal answer is, I'll help you. In most institutions where I've been, it was the highest grade point average in school's history, followed by the most service hours in school's history, followed by the most success on the field in school history. Those things have happened at the same time. Many in the world of college athletics today think those are mutually exclusive, that there's not enough time and all we care about is football. It will take everything our players have to keep up with the football demands. And quite frankly, it won't be for everyone. Each program I've inherited and had a chance to lead, not everybody stayed, and not everybody wanted this approach of really high expectations. This current team, they didn't choose me. They'll have a chance to choose me over the upcoming months. But let's face it, they weren't the ones that chose. And so that relationship will grow and develop and become, and ultimately the relationships formed will be outstanding. I believe in the power of choice and enabling young people the power of choice. The expectations for the program will be so clear and so transparent and so consistent with fierce accountability that really it doesn't allow anyone to remain neutral. You're with us or you're not. And ultimately, people that are with us can accomplish things that are remarkable. When that collective is committed at the level that these kids will be, it's remarkable what they can accomplish. And that's what will be asked of them. I've united a staff, or I put together a staff, almost all of which who have played for me. That's atypical in college football. 15 of my staff members have history with me as their head coach. University of Iowa, I think, has 3, maybe 4. Many don't take this approach, but when you ask as much, when the vision is this clear, when it's atypical in the direction of college football with what's required, it's usually not for everyone. I do think it is for Utah State University. I think it's for the state of Utah. I think it's for Logan. I think it's for this institution. And I think it's for college athletics. And I think more schools will need and value an approach like this. And it's, quite frankly, the only way I can make sense of being a Division I college football coach, and that's who these kids are becoming. So having said that, we're thrilled, my wife and I, my staff, and honored. We're very clear that there's interest in football here. This turnout shows that. Amazing football transforms communities, and who would think that could happen, right? The Aggies winning in football and doing it consistently and well and doing it the right way, it can become the identity not only of the community but an entire state. I love the idea of the majority of this team coming from our state. I love the idea of us being dominant in our footprint. I love the idea of diversity. I love the idea of difference. I also like the ability to unite. And I intend to have a team that represents us, this community, this institution in a way that you can be proud of, not only how we play, but who we are. So thrilled and honored and thankful to President Cantwell, thankful to our athletic director, Sabau, and just thrilled, also anxious. Right now the transfer portal is open, and someone's wondering, what is that? And we're going to get sucked in. And so the first step, just to be clear, my staff is right now evaluating our current roster, right? Those are important decisions. Hard decisions. Who currently fits? Who currently will excel? Who currently, with the schematic changes, right? How will that align? So the staff is doing that. Then we'll evaluate the recent signing class at Utah State. Same thing. Does this fit? On the front end, is this aligned? Is it going to work? And then the institution I just came from, there's many that want to, they want this approach. And then here's the transfer portal in addition to that. The combination of all that will form this upcoming team, and we're on the clock. And so, yes, I'm speaking to you, and I'm glad that I'm here. My knees shaking, and I'm bouncing, and I'm kind of drawn toward other work that needs to be done. But I intend to represent you in a manner that I hope you're thrilled with. Will you always agree? I don't think it's possible. I'm hopeful that more often than not, but even in the times that you don't agree, you understand how come. And that transparency and clarity hopefully provides understanding. In the meantime, good results help soothe differences. And I understand the value of that as well. Holly and I are thrilled to be back in the state. Again, our three boys, and I saw the response when we said Brigham Young University, so I've just said it, and you don't need to say anything. That's where our sons are. My mother lives close by in Alpine. The chance. The first guiding principle of our program is family first, last, and always. This decision, in addition to this amazing institution, aligns with our first principle, family first, last, always. Who in the world gets to lead an amazing football program into a brand new era with such a rich tradition and do it with the support of their family in the same state? Who gets to, I think we have the best job on the planet. I'll do my best to act in that manner with not only results but integrity, and appreciate you and your support and willingness to be here. I look forward to a long partnership and a lot of success. Thank you very much. Is this the question portion? Okay, questions?
Hey, I'm Jason Walker with Cache Valley Daily and 106.9 The Fan. Obviously gone over your long tenure as a head coach, but not a lot of it has come in this kind of transfer portal NIL era. What have you learned about, this kind of new landscape of college football, and kind of what's your plan to, fully utilize it?
Yeah, what I've learned is the monetization of college athletics has moved it to a different space. You could call it amateur sport and be partially right. You could call it professional sport and be partially right. Neither right now is totally right. It's somewhere in the middle. But the thought that revenue and money doesn't matter is completely inaccurate. What I do think can happen, and as you learn about our program, the way that the way I've chosen to approach NIL, it's with a very simple earned, not given mentality. And that means that players by performance, players by marks in the classroom, players by the way they train in the weight room, players by what their character is, that qualifies them for, right, a chance to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. And whose name, image, and likeness isn't benefited more other than just football? If you're a football player and an amazing student, if you're an amazing person, all those things to me, which I think college football is missing, those all have value. I'm looking to acknowledge the entire person. What I found too is anything given up front usually diminishes its value over time. What I've learned is when someone sequentially has to chip away and work and chip away and work and chip away and work, but can qualify for increasing amounts, it's amazing to see their growth and development. The team sees it, and man, are they happy for whoever's qualifying for more. The team's excited because in our system, colors change, much like the martial arts. You start in white and you move colors. The team sees the color changing, they're happy for that individual, but they're also happy for themselves because the color is changing on the team. That means they're watching the team become better. I love the idea of each player benefiting from name, image, and likeness. I also crave the idea of how it sustains and builds a culture of team. And not many are trying to do both, and we are, and we do it really well, and that's part of the developing young people.
Coach Craig Hislop of KBNU Radio.
Oh, right there. Hey, it's been a while. How are you?
2 questions. First of all, you were very emotional on this field this season after the game, which you won. What was going through your mind there?
A lot. The University of New Mexico, the state the program was in, when Holly and I chose to take on that challenge, we love influence and impact. We love hard. We love challenge. We love change, not only in people, but in institutions. And it was just a moment to acknowledge of a lot of young people trying really hard and having a chance to see some success that I thought at that time for that program would propel them forward in a way that couldn't have happened without an outcome like we had. And so it was a bigger picture thought and appreciation and gratitude for kids trying really hard to become something they hadn't been but really wanted. And yeah, I was in tears and someone put a camera there, which is just how it is to be a head coach, you know?
You're a Utah County kid. Why didn't you play football at BYU?
Great question. They didn't want me. My dad played at Brigham Young University. My brother Matt played at Brigham Young University, second-round draft pick there. I played at Snow Junior College, a little bit of a late developer. We won a national championship there. I just kind of assumed that then I would, BYU would be interested. They weren't. And so this reflects my mature. I don't know if I've ever told this story out loud. Well, I'm going to, and I don't know how this is going to go. But so we just won a national championship at Snow Junior College. It's clear that I'm not going to be recruited by Brigham Young University. And I then looked at the offers that I had and looked at their schedules. My college choice was predicated on which of the schools remaining had BYU on their schedule. Short-sighted, I know, maybe supported by this group, but short-sighted. Went to Oregon State University. Of my remaining choices, they were the only team that had BYU scheduled. We arrived in Provo, beat BYU when I was at Oregon State. Wow, this is a big deal, isn't it? I was on the 50-yard line on the Y doing like a snow angel on the grass. I don't know, maybe to prove that I was capable to them, maybe. Who would have guessed I would have been the head coach there after that? Now I've told the story. I don't know what's going to happen. But that was my college choice and why.
Coach, Alex Vehar with KSL. Good morning. President Cantwell earlier mentioned culture. The last few years, the football program here has had its share of difficulties, some of them legal. And there's been a big push last couple years to not only turn that around within the program. on campus, but to improve the perception of it outside. So I'm curious, how much was that part of the conversation during your recruitment? And now that you're here, what will your role be in not only improving that culture here, but perception outside?
Yeah, great question. So one of the principles that I have learned over time is the best predictor of future performance is past performance when it replicates. If you look at the conduct of the teams that I've coached, if you look at the cultures of the teams that I've coached, perfect? No, not possible in developing young men. Exemplary in terms of achievement in every area of life. And that actually includes faith as well. That doesn't mean a specific faith, but that actually does mean faith. And so academics, exceptional. Performance on the field, exceptional. Character, usually unmatched. Some mistakes along the way, absolutely, as we all do, even grown-ups. Completely embedded in the community and making a difference, certainly. This really didn't have to be part of the conversation. It's just what I believe in. And so you're just getting the next iteration of my wife and I doing that. I think, and this community will love our team just like we will love the community. That only happens when you get to know each other. And there's a lot of work to be done. That way, one of the best ways to get to know is to serve. And I love reaching out and serving. And I love our players to do the same. And so this is just the beginning. And I look forward to it.
Hey, Coach Mendenhall. Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. I just wanted to ask you, USU has really upped the ante in terms of coaching salaries, particularly within the assistant pool. How much did that commitment kind of resonate with you as you were having discussions with Athletic Director Sabau?
I would say I certainly acknowledge that, and I acknowledge it from this perspective. When expectations and commitment don't match, frustration occurs. When expectations and commitment match, alignment, trust is ensured. And so there was just a quick check, not a deep mean. It's oh wait, Utah State wants great football. They want improvement. They want success. They want advancement. They want growth. That really didn't have to be through words. That was just simply by what the numbers look like. And facts are our friends. A lot of times we can say with flowery speeches, etc., then when it comes right down to it, now what does that mean? Sometimes numbers say more. And so in this particular case, it was clear to me that this institution, this team of leaders wants increased success and want to commit to that and see the value that could bring. And that, by the way, that's not, again, just for football. That's the impact on this community, on this institution, and who these young men can become. And I view it like that.
Hey, Coach, Mark Greenwood with the Utah Statesman. You kind of mentioned in-state recruiting and having this team be really in-state focused. You've obviously spent extensive time recruiting in-state. How do you think that those previous ties are going to help you at this point? What do you do to kind of capitalize on that moving forward?
Just that. I intend to capitalize. Gosh, when you spend as much time in the state as I have and been a head coach as long as I have in this state, if I were to show you the text messages, it's a world record from influence and impact from past that now is relevant now. And wow, has the high school football and the quality of football in this state grown and improved and become? It was strong before. That was when I left Brigham Young, went right to the University of Virginia. That seems like a long time ago now. 2 other years, then went to New Mexico, and now coming back and seeing it. Yeah, there are amazing young people here, and they're tough and gritty and, gosh, strong character and well-schooled and well-taught, and the coaches they're coming from, and they're in our state, and they would align really well here. It makes complete sense for me for that to be, right, the primary place we start. Not the only place, but the primary place we start for our program. And I believe, right, for those kids playing in front of family, for communities to watch kids from their own community and from their own state, that connection is deeper. It's more meaningful, and there's a stronger tie. And I believe in that, and I like that, and that's the direction we're going to go.
Hey, Coach. Hey. Eric Franson with 106.9 The Fan. Can we talk about timing for just a second? Utah State had pretty much announced from August that there was going to be an opening. When was it that, I know, tricky for you being a head coach already working in another institution. At what point did that connection start to formalize in your mind that this could be a new destination for you here in Logan? And what was that process like for you?
So I'm probably the hardest coach to contact in season. I only care about the team I'm coaching. And so this idea of, was I aware? Not really. Did I care? Not very much. The kids that I was coaching at New Mexico and trying to help them become, that took everything. And that's the commitment I make to my teams. And at some point, usually after the season, and it happens really fast, there is contact, there's interview, and then in a very short amount of time, there's one of these. That's how it works. To do anything more than that while the season is going, I think is a disservice to wherever I am and wherever those kids are that I'm coaching. And so, yeah, there's firewalls and barriers that really no one gets through during the season. And does that make the timing harder? Yeah. Is the principle driven home of who really matters and why? Yes, and that's loyalty. And plenty could say now, right, gosh, I was only there a year. That was very difficult for me until it became, and clear family first, last, always was an option. That added clarity. And sometimes you have to make really hard decisions in a short amount of time under a lot of pressure. And that's what we, as I say, we as head coaches, because we are head coaches, that's what we do.
Kevin Reynolds with the Salt Lake Tribune. You mentioned NIL a little bit earlier, but how much was that a discussion in the interview process in terms of the support level that you'll have here? And do you feel comfortable that you'll be able to be on par with the Pac-12 and the situation that you're going into just on that front?
Yeah, it was a small part of the conversation, but a question. I'm really confident. I have a great idea of what amounts are needed. Just went through this. Launching an NIL program, launching it in a relative market that's similar, expanding it now to the Pac-12, knowing what that will take, almost tripling that number in 1 year's time at the University of New Mexico. The support off the chart. Will that need to happen here? Yes. Will it? Certainly. I'm confident once presented and relationships formed and belief established, that will all come together. And so significant for sure. That's part of the college game right now and is quite frankly a necessary part of doing business. So there is the business side that supports all this other part that we just talked about. And that's one of my first priorities right now. Besides roster evaluation and identifying our current players and what that looks like, what kind of resources then, right, can match that to not only retain, but attract, right, and then sustain. And that all has to be looked at the same time. Working on that as soon as we're done with questions here. I can hear you.
Okay. Trent Wood with the Deseret News. You referenced how difficult it was to leave New Mexico, and I'm curious just what you would have to say to the public. I'm sure you've talked privately to plenty of the people that you knew there, just what you would say about leaving that university after a year.
So grateful for the opportunity that I was granted to coach there. Holly and I were treated so well. Those kids, we love those players, as we do all the players I've coached. But how hard they tried to become and to transform a program and the success they were feeling and the way they were carrying themselves, as well as the supporters. That community, I watched how whoever was there rush the field when we beat Washington State. Similar experience at Virginia when the crowd rushes the field about half full when we beat Georgia Tech for be bowl eligible. They were feeling a transformation happening. I watched them be torn and hurt when they heard my decision after seeing the direction the program was going. I didn't take that lightly and still don't. Very difficult. You can't coach effectively without connecting deeply. It's not possible. I guess it is, but it's hollow. And I'm not after that. And so never was it on our radar after 1 year. It wasn't. I hope you're taking that as how significant this opportunity is for us. we think this is a life-changing moment for my wife and I and our family. So that ultimately was the reason. To say there was another reason, there wasn't. Our chance to continue to do this with our family so close, man, that's who gets to do that. So it's just awesome. And that happens to be here in Logan and Utah State with this rich tradition, the recent successes, past successes, and the trajectory in the future. Gosh, that just made a lot of sense. I still feel for the kids there. In this world of transfer portal and how it works, they might be more prepared now than in past eras. Still difficult. And I think any coach that leaves a program that doesn't feel that way probably hasn't coached them well enough.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal over here. Being from Utah, you understand the importance of playing BYU in Utah. How much influence are you going to have getting them on the schedule now and again?
Gosh, I hadn't thought about that yet. I'll have some influence. That's a partnership. And is it important? Yeah, it's important. Is it important? Yes, it's important. And the outcome of that matters.
Alex Vehar with KSL again. In 2021, you decided to take a short break from coaching and started a podcast because you said that you wanted to reinvent yourself. Obviously, you took the job in New Mexico not that long after that, but I'm curious, like in that little span of time of not coaching, what did you learn about yourself? How do you feel like you actually did reinvent yourself?
Yeah, I'm not sure, and you probably have a quote for me saying I wanted to reinvent myself. I'm not sure that's what I was trying to do. It just kind of occurred. But when Holly and I stepped away at the University of Virginia, we had just become empty nesters after 34, 32 years of college athletics. What a unique journey, but a difficult journey. And sometimes distance brings clarity. Putting in 40 acres of fencing on a Montana ranch, yeah, that brings clarity. Building, clearing trees, just making a place become better for our future was, I think, therapeutic, but also enlightening. And after about a year, when the first football season ended and calls were coming, we had plenty of opportunity, and it just didn't feel like the right one was there yet. At the end of season 2, yearning husband and wife for influence and impact on young people, it just became clear that's our purpose. And we looked where and how can we have the most influence and impact on young people. Where? I don't think there's a more impactful and influential platform than college athletics. And so it just became really clear to Holly and I, yeah, we're no longer ranchers in Montana. We're leaders of young people in the world of college athletics. And that was solidified. Maybe not so much reinventing myself, and the podcast was just a hobby. But it became clear to us what we were supposed to do. And that's what we're doing. And luckily, we get to do it here.
This is Jason Walker again. We've talked a lot about off the field stuff. I want to ask about some stuff on the field. Offense and tempo and some chaotic defense has kind of been the identity of the Aggies for the last 3-4 years. What can fans expect to see from this team on the field under your tenure?
Yeah, one of the principles that you'll learn from me that's maybe a little bit atypical in the world of college football. Most bring schemes and recruit to the schemes. I'm a who first then what person. We'll see exactly who we have, who we draw, and we'll maximize all resources we have with enough scheme knowledge from all these different ways to do it. Scoring points matters. Actually, there's been a study done. I commissioned this study, by the way, in my coaching career. The number one influencer on winning a football game is points scored. I actually paid for that study to be done, by the way. So money well spent, because it just confirmed. Second biggest predictor and outcome of college football games, points allowed. So we're going to do stuff that scores a lot and doesn't allow many. Not to make light of it, we have really good coaches. Kevin McGivern, offensive coordinator, has been here before. Gosh, he's innovative and he's creative, and points go on the board, running and throwing. I love the chance to have all players on the offense be involved, including the quarterback. And so, man, in this world, that really matters. Complementary football matters, a defensive scheme that matches that. Most of my background is defensively, but my passion is complementary football, an entire program now. I'm just not one side or the other. And so I'll look at the players we have, the ones we draw, put them in schemes that will be successful for the results we all want, and we'll watch that unfold as we go, rather than declare today. Thank you all so much. Really glad to be here and glad to be your coach.